Madam Chair.
Good morning, Anna. There's a little echo there.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Are we ready to go?
Let me take roll call. Good morning. My name is Ana Armenta. I am the Arizona Racing Commission Secretary. Today is July 23rd, 2025. This is an appeal to the Racing Commission taking place via Google Meets and in person. I will do the roll call. Madam French Contreras,
Present.
Vice Chair Olson,
Present.
Commissioner Coach is absent, Commissioner Zucker,
Present.
and Commissioner Padish has recused himself. Thank you. We have a quorum. It is 10:03 a.m. So if you want to go ahead and start, Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am. Welcome, everybody. This is the administrative hearing for the State of Arizona Racing Commission. Now open on July 23rd, 2025. The time of the hearing started at 10:03. This case is in the matter of Kevin Eichelberry. The case number is 25A-003-DOR. In summary, the appellants are challenging the decision of Turf Paradise Racing Stewards from February 3rd, 2025 regarding the disqualification of horse number 7, Squeeze the Day. My name is Candace French Contreras. I am the chairperson for the commission, and I will preside over the administrative hearing in this matter in conjunction with and in the assistance of my fellow commissioners. As noted earlier, the commission members who are present are Vice Chair Olson, myself, as well as Commissioner Zucker. Anna, that will confirm a quorum, correct?
Yeah. Yes, it does.
Thank you very much. At this hearing, official notice will be taken of the statutes and rules involved and all the pleadings, motions, and rulings. This hearing may be conducted in an informal manner and without adherence to the rules of evidence required in judicial proceedings. The evidence supporting the decision or order needed only be relevant, reliable, or probative. The standard of proof in this matter is by a preponderance of evidence. After consideration of all the evidence received and marked into record, together with all the other official and relevant matters, this commission will prepare a written ruling within 60 days. We will begin the hearing with opening statements from the parties, beginning with the appellant, Mr. Kevin Eichelberry, who has the burden of proof in this matter. We will then proceed to the evidentiary phase and then closing arguments for both parties. We request that council limit opening statements and closing arguments to a reasonable amount of time to be decided on at this matter. Each party, how long do you think we need for opening and closing statements?
This is Bob Budoff for the appellant, and I need 5 minutes or less.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Chair, Valerie Marciano for the state. 5 minutes or less would be sufficient.
Excellent. So we will limit opening statements and closing arguments to 5 minutes or less each. Same with rebuttal. If this is a problem, let me know as we move along. I believe the parties all agree. Would legal counsel for the parties announce your presence? Counsel, please name the witnesses who will also testify.
This is Bob Budoff, counsel for the appellant, Kevin Heichelberry. Kevin will testify, and George Estrada, Jorge Estrada Jr. will testify on behalf of the appellant.
Madam Chair, Valerie Marciano for the state. We have Chief Steward Jason Hart, who will testify. We also have Jeff Williams as a proposed expert to testify. I will note that Mr. Cantu, the owner of horse number 5, has been given an opportunity to appear at this hearing, has been provided with all of the documents that have been submitted to the opposing party as well as the commission so that he's informed. So we would ask that he be given the opportunity to speak if he chooses.
Is he present at this hearing?
I asked that Ana Armenta see if he's been given the link.
Okay.
Yes, he is.
I'm here if you guys can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Okay, so all of our witnesses are present.
Awesome.
All right. At this time, I'm asking then that all the witnesses who are present come forward, state your name individually, and be sworn. Telephonically, we're going to do this by each person. So let's start with the appellant. Can I have each of your witnesses state their name, please, and raise their right hand?
Let's start with Kevin Heichelberry. Kevin, state your name, please.
Kevin Heichelberry.
Thank you. Raise your right hand, and do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. George Estrada?
Yes, Jorge Estrada Jr.
Thank you, sir. Raise your right hand, please, and do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, sir. For the state, Mr. Hart, are you available?
Yes, madam, I am.
Please state your name.
Jason Hart.
Thank you, sir. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Williams,
Yes, ma'am.
please state your full name.
Jeff Williams.
Thank you, sir. Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. And then the event, Mr. Cantu, you would like to testify. Are you available now?
I am.
Please, sir, would you state your full name?
Alberto Cantu.
Thank you, sir. Would you please raise your right hand? And do you swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, sir. Do any of the council request an exclusion of any of these witnesses from the hearing at this time?
No.
Madam Chair, Val Marciano, no, for the state.
Thank you.
Madam Chairperson, I'm sorry, this is Deanie Ray. I just wanted to make sure it's clear for the record that I'm here as your independent advisor from the Attorney General's office.
Thank you, ma'am. Anna, can we please note that record?
Yes.
Thank you. So we have not invoked the exclusion of the witnesses, so none of the witnesses will be required to leave this hearing. Council, all the proposed evidence for both parties, have it all been marked and submitted?
Madam Chair, this morning, this is Bob Budoff.
Mhm.
Morning, I gave to Ms. Marciano a full CV of Jorge Estrada Jr., which I believe has been scanned and emailed to the commissioners. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Right, we got that this morning.
Okay, thank you.
And the state has no objection to that submittal. If I may, I want to note for the record that files 1 through 13 have been provided to opposing counsel and Mr. Eckleberry. They were sent via email. And I want to note that Andrew Allen will be pulling up any of these files. If I may, Madam Chair, I just want to list what they are. File 1 is racing official accreditation for Jeff Williams. File 2 is a racing official accreditation for Jorge R. Estrada. File 3 is the director's order relating the hearing. Number 4 is a corrected appeal hearing transcript reflecting that was prepared by interns for the department for ease to the commission and listening to any audio of that hearing. Number 5 is the signed hearing transcript attestation of those interns stating what they did and how to arrive by it. Number 6 is a replay video website link to the race in question. Number 7 is the Bates stamped exhibits that were submitted to the hearing below before the director. Number 8 is the statutes and rules that were submitted below to the director. Number 9 was the signed appeal hearing letter by myself to Mr. Eckleberry. Number 10 was the Department of Racing appeal by Mr. Eckleberry, redacted. Number 11 is the updated email from Mr. Eckleberry, redacted. Number 12 is the hearing recording of the underlying hearing before the director. And number 13 is the replay, which may be receive the most focus. But all that was provided to Mr. Eckleberry's counsel as well as Mr. Cantu. And I also want to note for the record that the appellant and the state filed position statements with the commission, and those were provided to Mr. Cantu as well.
Thank you. Is there any objections from appellant's counsel?
No.
Thank you, sir. Have there been any other stipulations that have been agreed upon by the parties before we move forward?
No, ma'am.
Are
No.
there any procedural matters that we need to take up at this time?
Not from the state's perspective, Madam
Not
Chair.
from the appellant's perspective.
All right, thank you, folks. If there's no other preliminary matters, then we'll start with opening statements. May I please have counsel for the appellant or Mr. Eckleberry? Will you please start your opening statement?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Bob Budoff, and I'm counsel for Kevin Eckleberry. And I don't want to make this proceeding any more complicated than it needs to be. It is our position clearly that, number one, this commission sits as an independent determinator of the facts in this case at this point, regardless of what may have been decided before, that this commission has the authority and responsibility to decide this case based not only on the evidence that was previously presented, but most importantly, additional evidence and testimony that's going to be presented today. It's not a complicated case. As Mr. Judge Hart indicated in his original comments to Director Johnson at the previous hearing, and it has been indicated in the rules, there are two issues that need to be resolved. Number one, was there interference committed by number 7, Squeeze the Day, against number 9, Traveling Witch? And number 2, if there was interference, and our contention is that there was not, did that interference in any way prevent number 9, Traveling Witch, from a better placing in the race? Through Jorge Estrada, our expert witness, we are going to submit that there was no interference. This is based on the replay of the race. And so we don't even have to get to prong number 2 as to whether or not that cost number 9 a better position. We believe that the relevant evidence in this case, the most obvious determining factor should be the video itself, not comments made by jockeys at any time during the investigation, nor by any other party for that matter, including my client, Kevin Eichelberg, or Mr. Cantu, because their comments are after the fact. This is akin, I would suggest, to a replay in other sports areas. I was watching the Diamondbacks game last night, and there was a call that was disputed. And the umpires, they did not ask the players what they thought. They didn't ask the managers what they thought and what their reason for the appeal was. They simply went to the replay and made the determination based solely on that replay. That is our contention. Replay does not show interference. Replay does not show in any sense that number in any way deprived of an opportunity for a better place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Marciano, you may make an opening statement if you wish.
Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. Val Marciano for the State Division of Racing, Department of Gaming. A hearing was held before Director Johnson. Evidence was presented, sufficient evidence to support the findings, but the state has no objection to repeating that before this commission because the state is confident that the same that this commission will uphold that ruling by the Director Johnson. The reason for that is what was presented to, like will be presented today, presented to Director Johnson, is that we had 3 stewards, 5 stories overlooking the race. We had 1 steward eyes trained on the race with binoculars, watching the race, seeing the interference, calling the inquiry, regardless of any objection called, regardless of any statement by any other jockeys. So we have an eyewitness to it. We then have a jockey who committed the interference, although I should correct that, it was the horse that committed the interference. He affirmed that in the relevant time frame, regardless of what an independent person is going to say about this video. So while the video may be relevant, there's sufficient and substantial evidence that supports the director's ruling, and that will be repeated today. And we're prepared to proceed.
Thank you, ma'am. If there's no further statements, we can move on to the evidentiary phase. There's no objections.
No objection from the appellant.
No objection from the state.
Thank you. Mr. Rudolph, you can call and question your first witness.
It's Rudolph, thank you. And the
My
first one,
apologies. Yes.
first one I would call would be Kevin Eichelberg. Kevin, will you state your name, please?
Kevin Eichelberg.
And you are the trainer of, in this case, coincidentally, both Squeeze the Day and Traveling Witch. Is that correct?
That's correct.
You testified previously at the hearing before Director Johnson based upon your appeal. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And your testimony at that time relative to the incident in question should be repeated here today. So go ahead and give us your sense of whether or not the disqualification was warranted or not and why.
Okay. To start with, at the end of the lane, Squeeze the Day is running right beside the other filly. At the time when I watched the race, I seen nothing, and I've looked at that video many times. The rider never checked the horse. The rider kept riding all the way. Never, and no way was there any interference, in my opinion, of any way. And I stated that the last time. Then after the race, come on, they said there's an objection by the rider. The rider of the number 9 never claimed a foul. He never did anything. There was a jockey on the winner that actually did. I thought it was a very, very poor judgment by the stewards by letting the other rider of the winner influence everything at the scales and the outriders and everything. The rider of the number 9 never of any kind claimed any foul at any time. He didn't even know how. He testified he didn't know how. And he wasn't going to anyway, but he was put under a lot of pressure by the deal. If anything, I thought the 5 interfered with the other filly I had in the race, Brumbo Doppelganger, and I believe she was number 1. I'm not positive about that, but I think that's right. I thought if anything, she might have interfered quite a bit more than my other filly, and that was the testimony that I made at the other hearing. Basically, that's all. And I didn't see there was any reason for any disqualification at all. So, thank you.
I have nothing further to ask of Mr. Eckelberg.
Madam Chair, I have a couple of questions.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Eckelberry, Val Marciano for the state. There were 4 horses in this race that you had involvement in, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you'll get the most money if number 7, Squeeze the Day, is placed in first, correct?
She was the winner. Yes.
I don't have any other questions for Mr. Eckelberry.
Question of the commissioners, have they seen the video of the race itself, or should we play that this time?
It's your
Have they seen the
presentation.
video?
We sent it to them. Madam Chair, I'm just addressing the questions. The video was sent to the commissioners. Mr. Budoff, you're free to ask that the video be played.
Madam Chairperson, have you reviewed the video?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Olson, have you reviewed the video?
Yes, I'm sorry, who's speaking? It's hard for us to tell from the video.
This is Bob Budoff. I'm sorry, I'm counsel for Mr. Eckelberry.
Thank you, Mr. Buda. Yes, but I wouldn't be opposed to being presented today.
And Commissioner Zucker, have you seen the video? Have you viewed it?
No, I've been traveling recently and have not had an opportunity, and was hoping to see the video during this testimony.
I think this would be a good time, then I would ask if the video be shown.
Andrew Allen, would you please pull up the video? And just so everyone who's at this hearing, the speed can be put in slow motion if requested. So just feel free, Mr. Budoff, to ask, or your witnesses to ask the rate of speed, or it be stopped or replayed.
Let's at this point just play the video in regular speed so that the commissioners can get a grasp of exactly what we're looking at. And then I will have my expert witness, Mr. Estrada, go to specific points in that video that we believe are relevant to the decision that needs to be made.
Thank you.
Video in regular speed.
Mr. Budoff, please identify this video before it's presented to the commission.
This is race number 7 on February 3rd, 2025 at Turf Paradise.
Thank you, sir. If there's no objections, let's go ahead.
No objection.
No objection.
Thank you.
I should note that I can play it with the announcer's audio or without, whichever you prefer.
You can play it with the announcer's voice, just so we all get a sense of exactly what happened that day.
To be raced over 6 furlongs, and they're on their way. And Lotta Salita was astride slowly out of the gate. Be aware, up with the early pace, joined by Just Call Me Lucky, going for a hand trick in second. Diamant Elegante settles down in third, with Traveling Witch, who's crossed over nicely from the outside to take a prominent pitch early. Venom Breaker a couple back to Lotta Salita, making up that lost ground, followed by Bravo Doppelganger to the outside, but only 5 off the lead. Venom Breaker a couple back to Squeeze the Day, followed further back in the field then as they go into the far turn by Cool Tap Dancer. Cool Tap Dancer only has one behind it, and that one is Bango Gal. 21.75 for the opening quarter. 10 lengths to front to back split. Diamond Elegante leading around the turn at 23-1. Traveling Witch in the center in second. Squeeze Bidet making headway on the outside. Brumbo Doppelganger looking to squeeze the side. They head down to the final furlong. And Squeeze Bidet now goes on into the lead. And the lead is a good 2 or 3 lengths and pulling away now. Squeeze Bidet and Francisco Garcia go on to win the fillies division. From in second place, Traveling Witch in a photo together with over on the inside, Diamond Elegante, who stayed on in 1:10.86.
Thank you. I would now, this is Bob Hudak for the appellant, call Jorge Estrada Jr. to testify.
Can we please see the head on people? We'll do that.
Before we do that, let's rerun this video without the announcer's voice, please.
And if the appellant wouldn't mind reminding us the different colors of the horses at issue today.
The 7 is, this is Bob Budoff, Madam Chair. The number 7, Squeeze the Day, who is the horse that has alleged to have caused the interference, is in orange on the outside of the race. This is Bob Budoff. If I may, the alleged interference was caused allegedly again by number 7 in the orange cap, who was on the outside against the horse in the middle wearing a blue cap, Traveling Witch.
Mr. Budoff, are you testifying or are you asking a
No, I'm
question?
just clarifying what
Okay.
we're looking at.
All right.
Thank you. Do I have any questions for or requests from fellow commissioners before we move on to a next witness? Yes, Commissioner Zucker.
Yes, I just wanted to inquire, Kevin Elderberry, were you present at this race, sir?
Yes, I was.
And where were you at the time during this particular race?
I was actually sitting at my table. I sat at table 262 in the clubhouse, where you got a very good picture of the whole TV. Basically, looking at exactly what you guys are looking at right now.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Madam Chair, one quick question. I believe we were sent a head-on video as well.
Right. Do we have that available?
If we watch that one as well.
Vice Chair, is that satisfactory to you? Here we go. All right.
Madam Chair, would you like for us to stop the video or continue?
If I don't have any questions or additional evidence on the video, I think we can move forward with Mr. Estrada. Mr. Budoff, are you ready to call your next witness?
Yes, for the appellant, we call Jorge Estrada Jr. State your name, please.
Yes, my name is Jorge R. Estrada Jr.
And, sir, please, for the record and for the edification of the commissioners, tell us your background in racing.
Okay, I entered Turf Paradise on my 16th birthday in 1974. I was an apprentice jockey from 1979 to 1980, and I was a veteran jockey from 1980 till 1998. I've also been a jockey agent, a clocker, a clerk of scales, an association steward, and an apprentice steward. I also have been a HISA steward, a federal steward. I'm currently a track safety officer in the state of Wyoming, but I was a steward for 12 years in the state of Wyoming, a state steward. I also work for the Arizona Department of Racing as a fair steward. And as I know, I'm the only steward ever to live that has held all those different positions of different types of stewards working for different organizations and associations and states. And I have also won 917 thoroughbred races, 909 seconds, and 956 thirds out of 9,027 starts. And that's thoroughbreds only. I've also won races on quarter horses, Appaloosas, and Arabians.
Mr. Estrada, what tracks did you win races at?
I've won races in 12 states in 3 countries at the highest level of competition and the lowest level of competition. I've also won races in 3 countries by the time I was 21, in Canada, Mexico, and the United States.
What year did you retire from being a jockey?
1998.
How old were you at the time that you retired from being a jockey?
I was 38 years old.
Since that time, you've been serving as a steward and racing official, is that right?
Yes, this is correct.
State, what are your credentials as a steward, your licensing?
I have been every kind of steward there is: fair steward, state steward in 2 states, HISA steward, federal steward. A HISA steward is Horse Race Integrity and Safety Authority. The acronym is HISA, and they are a new governing oversight body for horse racing in the United States. And they recently won, they've been challenged and recently won in the Supreme Court, and they are now the governing body oversight committee of horse racing in the United States.
What training did you receive to become a steward?
I completed the racetrack accreditation program, full program in 2011 at Delta Downs, and from the University of Arizona.
Now, there are different levels of certification for track stewards. Is that correct?
Correct.
What level did you attain?
I've been every level, but I'm now currently a level 1 flat racing steward. The
Level-
distinction between jumping and flat.
Is level 1 the highest rating that you could receive?
Yes, in order to become a level 1 racing steward, you have to have been a steward for 5 years and have 450 days in the tower. Currently, because I was a steward at Turf Paradise for 8 years, I have over 1,500 days in the tower, and I've adjudicated over 15,000 races.
You would say adjudicated. What do you mean?
I have watched over, called fouls, exonerated people, called jockeys into films. We are, as a steward, you are like a principal. If someone gets in a fight on the backside, if someone tests bad for drugs, I have held over 100 hearings and participated in showing jockeys films, suspending jockeys, exonerating jockeys, and licensees.
In your experience as a steward, when decisions are made, both at your level and in an appeal of a steward's decision, it's not uncommon for people to disagree. Is that correct? As to the result?
It's common.
I am wanting you to focus on your experience at this time as a rider. It has been alleged in this case that there was interference committed by number 7, Squeeze the Day, against number 9, Traveling Witch. You had occasion to review the video of this race, correct?
Correct.
In your experience, when there is a horse that is interfered with, what are the jockey's normal reactions to something like that?
Generally, I'm going off the verbiage here in the notice of rescheduled hearing. And generally, the word checked is used in the document 7 different times. On the second page, on page 2 of the document, it states that Traveling Witch checked to avoid clipping heels. To check or is something that jockeys do when they find themselves in danger and then they're in fear of clipping the horse in front of them's heels. So generally it takes 2 hands to check, and you have to stand up and snatch the bridle. There's also a popular vernacular called grandstanding, where you're not necessarily affected, but you think the stewards might see it that way. So you check up and make it look like you got affected on the films. So that's a popular vernacular among jockeys and racetrackers, and it's been used for 100 years. So also, I feel that you have to have 2 hands to check. You can't be whipping and checking at the same time. It's never occurred.
In your review of the video, both the hand shot and the head on, did you see any action taken by Mr. Marcano, who rode number 9, Traveling Witch, to avoid contact?
I never saw Mr. Americano check, pause, delay, and in fact, he continually whipped when he was brought into tight quarters. He continued to whip. Jockeys who feel that they're in danger do not continue to whip. They check. And generally when the jockey checks, he stands up in the saddle. He does not stay down in the saddle. A horse, when you're riding hard, your back stays level and you're whipping, you're concentrating. When you check, your front end comes up. The jockey's front end, historically, 100% of the time, when the jockey checks, he'll stand up in the saddle and pull back with both hands.
In your experience as a jockey, have you had to do that at times?
About 100 times. I've also been dropped. I've also
What do you
been in
mean
a coma.
drop? What do you mean drop?
I've had the jockey in front of me cause me to clip heels by veering into my lane, forcing my horse to go down, and having my friends run over the top of me and ending up in intensive care unit.
In this particular video, in your review of the matter, at any point did you see Americano take any action to stop riding?
I never saw Mr. Americano pause. I never saw him check. I never saw him delay. And in fact, I saw him continue to persevere and to whip at the time when he was put into tight quarter. And in fact, I'd like to reference page 2 of the rescheduled hearing notice. And it says, I quote, "Number 7, squeeze the day, lugged at the top of the stretch." At the top of the stretch. I didn't see any occurrence at the top of the stretch. I'd like to review that. Causing traveling whisk to check in order to avoid clipping heels. I never witnessed a check, and I challenge anyone in this room when we review this again to show me where Mr. Americano paused, checked, or delayed.
All right, let's, if we could, Andrew, pull up the video again, and we'll do it in slow motion from, let's say, the middle of the turn to the finish. That's good. Can we do that in slow motion, please?
This is Judge Estrada. This is what's considered the top of the lane. Mr. Americano was whipping. Still whipping.
And he is in the blue cap.
Still whipping. He just switched to his right hand. He was whipping left-handed. Still no pause. Still no delay. Still no check. I also take into consideration as a judge and a regulator and a steward that the horse that won was much the best. And that's a consideration you take in. You have to protect the gamblers. They're the ones who pay our bills, are the gamblers, not the owners.
At any point in this race, did you see the number 9 Traveling Wish not have an opportunity to go by number 5 Diamante?
No.
Now, other stewards in this case, Judge Hart, who's here, Judge Williams, who's on the video, apparently have a different opinion as to whether or not the disqualification was warranted or not. Do they have the same experience that you do as a rider?
I don't believe that Judge Hart ever rode a race. Judge Hart is indicating no. I also have rode with Judge Williams, and I find Judge Hart and Judge Williams to be very capable stewards, but I don't really know if Judge Williams ever rode a thoroughbred. He was a quarter horse rider primarily, and quarter horse riding and thoroughbred racing, quarter horse, you just go straight. Thoroughbred, it's chess and checkers. A thoroughbred race is chess. You have to timing, you have to have a clock in your head. There's all kinds of stratagem, and you're in the paddock. An owner generally gives you the strategy. Hey, this horse doesn't like being on the inside, this and that. In a quarter horse race, nobody gives you instructions. Just go fast and win. You're only going in a straight line in a quarter horse race. In a thoroughbred race, you're going in turns. Your horses are switching leads. A horse in a thoroughbred race is on his right lead when he's straight. When he gets to the turn, you have to induce your horse to switch leads to go on their left lead, because they can't make it around the turn if they're leading with their right, because they're turning left. So you make your horse switch leads, and there's just so many different intricacies in a thoroughbred race than there is in a quarter horse race.
Can you please, Andrew, play this in slow motion, right from where you are right now? And again, we're watching the horse in the orange on the outside, orange cap, and the horse in the blue in the middle.
Striking left-handed. You can see the whip go up in the air. Now he just switched to his right hand. Jockeys typically switch sticks in every race. That's how you cause your horse to change leads.
And again, for clarification and conclusion, you saw no indication of Americano on the 9, the blue cap horse, take any action to avoid interference.
Well, it's impossible to whip and to check at the same time. He continually whips through the entire lane. You never see him pause, check, delay. All I see is continues to persevere.
I have no further questions.
Madam Chair, I have just a couple of questions for Mr. Estrada.
Yeah, go ahead with your cross.
Thank you. Mr. Estrada, in order to achieve a level 1, a steward has to have 500 hours in a tower?
No, 450 days and 5 years.
150 days. And that's because being in the tower is significant, right?
Right. Well, you can't be in the tower unless you've gone through the race. In the state of Arizona, you have to be accredited. So you cannot be in the tower unless you have gone through the University of Arizona racetrack accreditation program.
Thank you.
And that's who assigns you your level.
Okay, thank you. And if you would pull up file number 2, Andrew Allen. All right, scroll down right there at the first page. Back up, stop. It's true, Mr. Estrada, your accreditation expired.
No, that is not true.
Yeah.
I need a CE. Right now, I am working privately for 307 Racing, and I don't need to be accredited in the state of Wyoming. All I have to do, I'm signed up for my continued education. There are no exams. I just have to attend for 16 hours, and I will be put right back into I am not expired. I have a CE lapse, if you read the verbiage properly.
Okay, so what's circled there on the screen indicates that your continuing education lapsed, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
My
Okay.
continued is lapse.
All right.
There's
Thank
no
you.
exams. It's
Thank you.
just attendance.
and you were not there February 3, 2025 at that race,
No.
correct?
Oh,
Okay,
no, I'm
I have
just
no other
reviewing the
questions.
film.
Thank you.
Is there any redirect?
No,
Do I have any questions from my fellow commissioners? Mr. Estrada, one question as a matter of clarification. Where were you during this race? Were you at the track?
No, I was definitely not at the track. I'm only reviewing the films. I was in the state of Wyoming at the time.
Thank you. Are there any other witnesses, Mr. Buda?
no,
Ms. Marciano, would you like to present witnesses?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes. On
Um,
behalf,
Yes.
oh,
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just have one question for Mr. Estrada. I'm sorry to be late on it.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Mr. Estrada, do you agree that there's no physical contact required for a foul to occur?
Of course I agree with that.
Can you describe I guess what kinds of fouls might occur without physical contact?
Well, intimidation sometimes can occur, but basically what I feel in this particular case, it's irrelevant because it states 7 different times that Mr. Americano checked, and he did not check. And that's where I'm at on this particular call. This is how I would have called it if I were in the tower. And 2 is a quorum in the tower. So 2 stewards can outvote 1 steward. So if 2 stewards saw it one way and I disagreed, well, then I can count to 2. I know what a quorum is.
Other than intimidation, are there any other non-physical fouls that you can think of?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from my fellow commissioners?
Not at this time, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Marciano, are you prepared to go forward with your witnesses?
Yes, Madam Chair. Val Marciano on behalf of the Division of Racing, State of Arizona. I called Jason Hart to be the state's witness. Mr. Hart, would you please state your full name?
My name is Jason Hart.
What is your position with the Department of Gaming?
I am the chief steward in the state of Arizona for the Department of Gaming.
How long have you held that role?
I've been a steward here for 4 years, the chief for about 3.
And what's your background before that?
I grew up in horse racing on both sides of my family. My mother was the daughter of a trainer in California. That was a leading trainer at Los Alamitos there. My mother is now the assistant mutual manager at Del Mar Racetrack in Del Mar, California. My father was a Hall of Fame jockey, quarter horse jockey, and he was also an established thoroughbred jockey who finished the second leading apprentice jockey in the nation when he had his apprenticeship. My father, he's inducted into the Racing Hall of Fame at 2 different locations, and I grew up in that. Household. I grew up on the backside in racing. I've held many racing titles from steward to identifier to paddock judge to patrol judge, steward's aide. I've taken entries. On the backside, I've been an exercise rider. I've been a groom. I have been an assistant. I have, away from the racetrack, I have been a police officer for over 15 years. After high school, I went to college and played baseball. And after I finished my college career, I was in law enforcement. I was a police officer for about 15 years approximately. And then I went back to the racetrack where I could benefit from my racetrack expertise as well as my expertise in law enforcement.
Mr. Hart, do you hold an accreditation?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Can you explain what that is?
That's an accreditation from ROPE, and that is the Racing Official Accreditation Program. There is a course, a 1-week course you go through. There's some prerequisites to get in. You have to have been an official or a jockey or a trainer for a set period of time. And I went through the training. I passed all of my tests on the first try, and here we are.
And it's current, correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently accredited.
And what level?
I am level 2. I have over 500 days in the stand. Now it's just awaiting until the 5 years elapses before I receive my level 1. I've already have plenty of days in the stand.
And on that date, February 3, 2025, you were in the stand for race number 7.
Yes, ma'am, I was.
Who else was in the stand for race number 7?
State steward Claudia Alvarez and association steward John Adams.
Are both of them accredited?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Are they current?
Yes, ma'am, they are.
Okay, I just want to note for the record that in the underlying hearing before the director, the accreditations of the 3 individuals I just mentioned are included in that record, and that would be, just for everyone's reference, that would be file number 7, and that would be exhibits 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I'm sorry, 10. for easy reference. Mr. Hart, the day of the race, was it clear, the weather?
Yes, ma'am, it was.
Was there any dust?
No, ma'am, not to my knowledge.
Okay. Did you have binoculars available?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
Were you using binoculars?
I was.
Do each of the stewards, the three stewards, all watch the race visually with their own eyes, or do you have assigned roles?
We all watched the race live. We all have different jobs. Stuart Adams, the association steward, he will watch the race usually on the television and through binoculars, just whatever view he can get best. And he controls the board, the tote board, which shows the current running order of the horses before they hit the home stretch.
And Ms. Claudia Alvarez, what role would she play there?
She watches the videos. We have a screen that is split into four. That shows four different angles that she monitors that board and watches that.
What is an inquiry, sir?
An inquiry just is something that we use to let the public know we are looking further into a race. It could be an infraction we are looking at. It could be to make sure that all the stall doors on the starting gate open in unison. It could be maybe an outside influence into the race that might have changed it. So just an inquiry is basically we are taking another look into the race to make sure it was fair for all the participants.
And when an inquiry is called by the stewards, does it always result in a disqualification?
No, ma'am, it does not.
Okay. And what is an objection?
An objection is filed by a jockey, a trainer, or an owner whenever they feel like they were fouled or wronged in a race, or if they feel they did not get a fair shot. Maybe like I said, their stall doors did not come open in unison with the field, or somebody may have came into their path. They would call an objection.
Okay. And then if an objection is called, do the stewards conduct an investigation?
Yes, ma'am. There's objections and there's inquiries. Inquiries are initiated by the stewards themselves. We see something happen and we initiate an inquiry. Objections are brought upon by the licensees. Like I said, the owner, trainer, and jockey have another betting interest.
And if the stewards call or hang an inquiry and no objection is filed, would the stewards still possibly disqualify a horse after its investigation?
Yes, ma'am, possibly.
Okay, so you don't need an objection in order to declare a disqualification or a foul.
No, you do not.
Okay, let's go to the day and just talk about it. The day of the race, February 3. Were you personally watching race number 7?
Yes, ma'am, I was.
On February 3.
Yes,
And you were using binoculars?
I was.
And where were you?
I was in the steward stand at Turf Paradise.
And where is this steward stand located?
It's on top of the grandstand. I would have to say at least 5 or 6 stories up, right above the finish line area.
So it's overlooking the track.
Yes, ma'am. We have a bird's eye view. Probably you could say we have the best view in the house.
Now, can you, before we go to the video, can you describe what you witnessed that day, looking through binoculars, watching race number 7?
Yes, ma'am. As I was watching the horses, sometimes I will call out the numbers to the other steward, John Adams, who puts them on the board, and because sometimes he can't see through the trees or certain areas. So I have my binoculars most of the time, and I will scan back and forth, but I will take my binoculars down and then glance back at the TV once in a while if I can't get a good view. But I am constantly viewing the race, scanning between the television and through my binoculars.
And did you actually see what the occurrence that is the subject of this hearing?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
All right.
So
Go ahead. Yeah,
while I was
describe
watching the race through binoculars, I saw that Francisco Garcia on the 7 horse squeezed the day. As they were coming out of it, they were still in the turn. They weren't to the top of the lane yet. They were still in the turn. I saw we call it the slang term is that we say he's loaded or he's got a lot of horse under him. That just means that we see that he has a horse that has a lot of stamina still. It looks like he's thriving and about to go on. And it looked like he had a lot of horse under him. As he was coming around the field, he was going 3 or 4 wide. I saw that Mr. Garcia had Squeeze the Day's nose turned out, which indicated to me that the horse was wanting to lug in. I called it out with my binoculars. I said, whoa, 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 because I could see it going. I could see it materializing in front of me. I could see the horse lugging in onto the horses inside of him. I said something along the lines of whoa, 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 whoa. And then when he came down on the 9-horse Traveling Witch, I saw jockey Manuel Americano check for a good 3 to 4 jumps and then go back to riding once Francisco Garcia's mount, Squeeze the Day, had cleared him and went on.
Okay, you used the word lug. What do you mean by lug?
Lug is the term we use when horses are wanting to go a direction that that the riders don't want to go. If in a perfect world, our riders will all go straight down the straightaway. The turns they drop in and they maneuver, but in the straightaways, unless they're clear, they stay in a straight line. And so lugging in, this horse was lugging in, which means the rider was trying to keep him straight, but the horse was wanting to go in, kind of like if you can imagine your car being out of alignment, and if you're letting go of the steering wheel, your car might drift to the right or left. That's kind of like what lugging is, and you have to manually straighten the horse out because you don't want to commit a foul.
So is it possible that the foul or disqualification can occur when the jockey is not at fault?
Yes, ma'am.
And how does that happen?
In this case, we felt that the horse Squeeze the Day was lugging in at the top of the stretch, and we felt that Mr. Garcia was doing everything in his power to keep the horse going straight, keep the horse from lugging in. But the horse, these horses have a mind of their own. The rider did everything he could, and the horse lugged in and committed interference with the 9-horse Traveling Witch.
So the jockey was not penalized here.
In this case, the jockey was not penalized.
Okay. You've heard, first, what's the name of the shirt of jockey wears?
They were silks.
Silks. And so the silks for Squeeze the Day is orange, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
And the cap is orange, correct?
Correct.
Kind of like squeezing an orange. It's a good name,
Yes, ma'am.
right? And the name Traveling Witch had what color silks?
I believe they were white silks,
And what color cap?
turquoise or teal for the 9.
And they may have been referred to as blue.
It could have been, but blue is what the number 3 horse wears, but teal is the color, teal or turquoise.
Okay. So you had your eyes trained on the race and you said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then you mentioned just a minute ago about checking. Can you describe what you saw and what you thought was checking?
Okay, checking, like Mr. Estrada pointed out, checking is when a rider will put both hands on the rein usually, and he will, if he's in fear of any kind of danger or fear of clipping heels, which could be a very dangerous incident, he will pull back on the reins, we call it check, to slow down. Basically, it's kind of like tapping the brakes or slamming on the brakes. There's different severities of it. You could check by putting your feet, what we call on the dashboard, and you're pulling your horse completely out of there, completely stopping your momentum. And then there's the kind where you pull back on the reins for a couple jumps until the other horse is clear, until you're ready to ride again, and then you can get back to riding.
Can you describe for me what you mean by clipping heels?
Clipping heels is when a horse's feet get tangled up with another horse. It usually happens from the front and back. If a horse comes over into the lane of another horse, the horse that's getting interfered with his front legs will maybe trip up with the hind legs of the horse in front of them. And as you can imagine, those horses, they could get tangled up and trip, and those horses could go down.
Does there have to be actual physical contact in clipping to call a foul for that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And you heard Mr. Estrada who's been called by the appellant as a witness here, say that a jockey cannot check and still whip the horse.
I would say that for the most part, that is true. Somebody could check with one hand, but that's not the norm. That's not it. So for the most part, that is correct. You would use both hands to check.
And did you see both hands being used by this jockey?
I absolutely did.
Okay. So if we could, Andrew Allen, if we could see the video, and I'll ask the witness to direct you on what he will explain that he saw.
Okay, before we get started here, Drew, let me just point out for Madam Chair and the other commissioners what we're looking at. Here is the 7-horse Squeeze the Day in the orange silks and orange cap. This is being ridden by jockey Francisco Garcia. Here is the 9-horse Traveling Witch with the white silks on and the teal cap. Those are the 2 horses in question we are watching right now. And you can go ahead and start it. You can see right here, the horse's nose is pointed out as he comes in. This is where I was yelling in the stand, saying, whoa, 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 whoa. We did see him check right there. We will go back to the head on to show the severity of the check. But right there, they're still in the turn. Can you do it in slow motion, Drew? They are still in the turn here. As you can see, they're still in the turn. They're still in the turn. They're still in the turn. Right here is the top of the lane, right where it stretches out. And here's where he's coming in. You can see the 7-horse lugging in severely here. And jockey Americano did check for 3 or 4 jumps, and we can go to the head on to show that. Okay. Can we put it in slow motion, Drew, when we get to the... Okay, here. Mr. Garcia here on the 7 is trying to keep his horse. You can see his horse is turned out right here. Americano is whipping left-handed. He grabs, checks, checks, checks. And right here, he'll go back to riding again, and he'll whip again. So can you rewind that again? We'll count that again. Go ahead. Here he is whipping left-handed on the 9. Now he stopped. He's checking, 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 checking. And now he switches sticks and gets back to riding. Can you go back to the pan shot, Drew? I want to show you the second part of our inquiry. The stewards, we get no joy or any kind of benefit from disqualifying horses. We actually do not like to do it at all. In this case right here, as was explained earlier today, there's 2 parts. One, did interference take place? By the video, you can see the interference obviously took place here. And then, did the interference cause somebody a better placing? So in this case, we have no doubt that Squeeze the Day was the best horse in the race. He goes on to win by daylight. Here's the reason we disqualified. Drew, I want you to get ready to pause the tape when I ask you to, please. And we will pause it right now. Okay, that's 1 jump past. But as you can see how tight the finish is here, the 9 got beat, and on the photo finish that we looked at too, the 9 got beat a matter of inches. After a rider checks for 3 or 4 jumps like that, to say that it did not cost that horse an inch at all or 2 inches, we believe that would have been irresponsible on our part. If we allow this would set a bad precedent. So if the 9 would have run past the 5 horse here and ran second, there would have been no disqualification. If the 9 could have ran second, but after checking for 3 or 4 jumps like he did, and then to get beat by such a small margin, that's why the stewards, after deliberation and speaking to the riders involved, we made a disqualification.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, first, let me ask you, when you say check, 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 does that impact the momentum of the horse?
Absolutely. It would be like you're in a car race and in the home stretch, you hit the brakes for a second or two, and then you hit the gas to go again. You got to get your momentum started again after your momentum has been stopped. You know, if the 9 would have gotten beat for second by several links, we might not have taken a disqualification because we don't think the checking would have cost him several links. But in this case here, it absolutely cost this horse more than a couple inches.
And when you say it affects the outcome, is that under Rule 19-2-119?
Yes, ma'am. That's our rule here in Arizona, and that's the rules we go by.
Okay. Once the stewards, once you saw that, what did you do?
Well, when I called it out with the binoculars, I called it out. I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then I said, oh, we had some interference there. That just lets the other stewards in the stand know that we had some kind of issue, because then we go ahead and we watch the rest of the race. And then when the race is over, we will remember that Jason called out an inquiry. We need to go back and look at that. And so John, when he's done with he has several duties on the board on his control panel in front of him. When he finishes what he's doing, then he will put the inquiry sign on the board, and and we will call the announcer, let the announcer know that we're conducting an inquiry so he can let the public know to hold all their tickets and let them know that an inquiry is being conducted.
And was then an objection called?
Yes, ma'am. We, as the horses pulled up, we got a notice from the outrider who I think it was Amy Nelson, the outrider, but it could have been the other outrider. I'm not sure, but we got a radio from the outrider. We have an objection from the rider of the 9, which was Manuel Americano, against the 7, which is Francisco Garcia, on Squeeze the Day.
And did you consider the objection?
Oh yeah, we always have to consider the objection. We already had an inquiry going on, but we did consider the objection. And then what happens is we notify the announcer there's also an objection, and then the announcer will announce that to the public as well. And then we will speak to all the riders involved in the infraction to get their take on it.
And did you speak to them?
Yes, ma'am, we did.
Okay, and who did you speak with?
We spoke to both Francisco Garcia and Manuel Americano.
When did you speak with Manuel Americano?
When they got back at the scales, Claudia Alvarez, our other state steward, she is a fluent Spanish speaker. She spoke to both Americano and Francisco Garcia on the phone, on speakerphone.
And the document, which is in file number 7 for the commission and appellant, there is an exhibit 1, and it's marked as steward's report. You have a copy?
Yes.
Is that a copy of the report that was issued?
Yes.
And all 3 stewards have signed it.
Yes, ma'am.
And was it a unanimous ruling?
This ruling was, yes, it was unanimous.
Are there times when it's not unanimous?
Yes, there is times where it'll be 2 against 1. And it's a majority of rules, and that's common. It happens, these are subjective decisions, and that's why they have 3 of us up there.
Okay. And was this steward's ruling issued right then at the race, after it concluded, or when was the steward's ruling prepared?
Well, we made the ruling in the stand before the race went official, so within minutes of the horses crossing the finish line. But between that time, that's when we reviewed the video. We talked to the riders to ask them what they felt happened, and watched the replays to make sure that what they're telling us makes sense to us according to the video.
You had occasion to speak to Francisco Garcia the next day, correct?
We spoke to him in the stand and the next, I'm not sure if it was the very next day, but it was the next entry day when he came in to see the stewards.
And tell me how that occurred.
I object to the relevance of any questions relating to anything that may have happened after.
Well, then I'd move to strike your witness, Mr. Estrada, because that's what's happening here.
Now, he's reviewing the video. You are asking your witness about a conversation
Yeah.
that took place after the fact.
Yes, which is during a relevant time, and let's let him
Can I
explain.
ask
what-
a question of the witness before he answers?
Well, we're going to allow it.
You can ask them.
Was your discussion with Garcia the next day, or any discussion that you had with the writer the next day, was that impactful on the decision you made relative to disqualification?
That was after the fact. So no, we talked to him before we made the decision
Okay.
as well.
Thank you.
I'll proceed. So you spoke with Mr. Francisco Garcia, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And he was the writer of Squeeze the Day #7.
Right.
Okay. And so how did it come about you speaking with him?
After we posted the inquiry sign, and then Mr. Americano filed an objection against Francisco Garcia. We spoke to them on the telephone, both of them on the telephone down by the scales, from the steward stand on speakerphone. Mr. Garcia told us that his horse was lugging in severely. He was trying everything he could. We asked him if he knew if he bothered somebody. He said, I don't know. He said it through the translator. He said he didn't know, but he said that he could hear them yelling at him. He said he heard Jockey Americano yelling, hey, 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 which is what riders do when they're in a bad spot, which, I mean, they don't yell like that for no reason. He was yelling because he was about to clip heels.
And you had occasion to speak with him after that decision, correct, Mr. Francisco Garcia?
After we made this, we also talked to Americano, but then when he came in, because we called the riders in when they're involved in inquiries, we call them in to possibly sanction them if they were at fault. When he came into the steward's office, we watched the video. He led us through it. He told us that horse was lugging in, showed us where he was lugging in. He switched to a left-handed whip, but he said, I just couldn't keep him off the other horse. So we decided not to sanction him because we did agree with what we saw on the video. We saw that he was trying to keep that horse off of the 9 horse. And, we felt like he did everything he could to keep that horse off. That horse was just lugging in. And we asked him, do you understand why we disqualified you? And he said, absolutely. Yes, sir. I understand why. But I tried to control the horse and he couldn't.
Okay. I don't have any more direct for Mr. Hart at this time. More?
Americano.
Mr. Budak, do we have a cross?
Yes,
Go ahead, please.
Mr. Hart, you ride a thoroughbred in a race?
No, sir. Not sanctioned.
When you made your decision, you and the other stewards, to disqualify Squeeze the Day, was that decision made predominantly based upon what you and the other stewards saw visually, or based upon the video that you reviewed in your decision-making process?
When making a decision, we take in consideration the totality of the circumstances. So we took into consideration the video evidence, what we saw on the video replay, as well as what both the riders told us before we made a decision.
And these riders do not speak English.
Francisco Garcia actually does speak some English.
Did you speak to him in English when you were having this jockey discussion before the disqualification was made?
No, sir. Claudia Alvarez was speaking to him in Spanish.
Do you know specifically the questions that were asked of them by Alvarez?
We told her what questions to ask. She translated the question to them. They answered it. She would translate it back to us.
You know if her translation was verbatim or not?
I don't.
Okay, thank you. Does lugging in and of itself, create a cause for disqualification?
No, sir.
There needs to be interference.
Absolutely.
And from your testimony in reviewing and looking at the video, which we've all seen numerous times now, you indicated that you observed from the video Americano check by stopping his riding.
Yes, sir.
Can we play that one more time, please, Andrew? Back it up to the top of the stretch, if you may. Did not the number 5 come out?
No, sir. I didn't see the 5 come out.
Okay. And you see from this angle, Americano put both hands on the reins and stopped riding.
From this angle, we don't see his hands. No, sir.
But earlier on the turn, when they came out of the turn, you indicated that you saw it. Right.
On the head on, you can see it better than the pan. Because the pan, you can't
Let's
see.
look at the head on again.
Yes.
This is the basis of the case.
Strikes him there. He has one more strike. Now he grabs the reins here, and now he's checking. That is checking.
Okay, can you tell from this video how far clear of the 5 and the 9 squeeze the day was when he came over?
From this video, you cannot tell. From the 3/8 camera video, which we do have access to, you could see there was no clearance. The hindquarters were right on the shoulder of the 9. The hindquarters of the 7 were right on the shoulder of the 9.
Do we have that video here?
They switch that camera to the other head on this. We don't have that shot here, but we did see it in the stand. And since this race, we have taken measures to make sure we have all of those angles at a future. But all 3 stewards, when the interference took place, we did see the hindquarters right on the shoulder of the 9 horse when it took place.
So are you telling us that you and the other stewards made a decision based on evidence that we are not seeing? And it isn't available to us?
Partial of it, not all of it. We can definitely see the checking here in this race right here.
I saw the check. I didn't see
Yes,
the check.
yes, I understand.
saw the lugging in.
Yeah.
But my question to you is, was there clearance
There was
when the
not.
horse came over?
No, sir.
And that answer is based on a view of the race that we don't have?
That mischaracterizes the testimony.
He's indicating yes.
He saw it with his own eyes,
I did.
Counselor.
I'm saying the video.
Yeah,
I
well,
said the
not
video.
solely. He saw it with his own eyes.
Well, from where you
Thank you.
were sitting
We're
in
standing.
the top of the stands
Mhm.
on the 5th level, looking at a turn, you were able to tell whether there was clearance?
Live?
Yes.
No.
So you relied on the video of an angle that we don't have and we haven't seen to determine there was not clearance.
No,
that
that's not
correct?
what we relied on. No. We did see that, but we saw this evidence as well that we're all seeing today. And we had Mr. Americano actually told us that he checked, and that's why he called foul.
But the video that we do not have, the video that you relied on in part to make your decision that there was not clearance, is not a video that's available to the rest of us.
The videos that we had up there are not the same videos here, right? That's correct.
Are those videos available to us?
I don't know. We could not get them. They are available in the future, but when this race took place, they did not have that capability, which is what spurred us to make the change. But in this case, we completely agree that the evidence speaks for itself. We can all see Mr. Americano checking.
Well, we wouldn't be here if we could all see the same thing that you saw, with no disrespect.
Yes, sir.
I have no further questions.
Okay, I will call Jeff Williams. Oh,
Vice
yes,
Chair,
ma'am.
you have a question before we go to the next witness?
I do, yes. I think just two questions. So thank you for your testimony, describing, where you saw both hands on the reins. Is when a jockey puts both hands on the reins, is checking the only thing that could be occurring, or could it be something else?
Oh, no, riders have their hands, two hands on the reins a lot. They don't have to, every time they have two hands on the rein, it doesn't mean they're checking. No, they can hand ride a horse where they're not whipping, but they're still pushing.
Okay, and so based on this video and your testimony, why do you think both hands on the reins was checking in this circumstance?
Well, in this case right here, as the video shows, when the 7 comes over into the path, when Mr. Americano stops whipping with his left hand, takes a hold right here, this is where he's checking, and you can see the horse shorten stride. He's checking, and he comes up in the saddle, and then right here he sits back down and switches to his right hand and goes back to riding. And that was consistent with Mr. Americano's testimony as well. He told us that he checked on the phone. He said he had to stop riding. He said he yelled at Garcia, and riders don't yell at him if they're clear.
Could you play that just one more time for me? Okay, the other question I had for you was, we've heard some questions about the type of horse being relevant. Is it your opinion that the type of horse is relevant as it relates to the lugging and checking and other actions taken by the jockey in this circumstance?
No, a thoroughbred, or you're talking about like between a thoroughbred and a quarter horse?
That's right.
Yeah, no, a lugging quarter horse is going to be the same as a lugging thoroughbred. I mean, we use the same terminology. It means the same thing.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
if I may, Madam Chair, I have one follow-up question for Mr. Hart. When Mr. Francisco Garcia came to the jockey after the race and you met with him, were you speaking to him in English or Spanish?
I was speaking to him in English.
And did he answer you in English?
He answered me in English, yes.
Okay. And I don't have any further questions for Mr. Hart.
Thank you. Any other questions for fellow commissioners?
No questions here. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Marciano, do you have another witness you'd like to call?
Yes, Madam Chair. I call Jeff Williams.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Williams, will you state your full name?
Jeff Williams.
And are you employed?
Yes, ma'am. I'm currently a state steward in the state of Oklahoma at Remington Park.
Are you certified with your certifications for a steward?
Yes, ma'am. I'm a level 1 steward with rope, through rope.
Okay, and I'll just mention for the record, that's been submitted to the commission as file 1 in the documents. Mr. Williams, you were not in attendance at the race on February 3, 2025, race 7, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. And can you just tell me your background?
Well, I was a rider for 32 years. As Mr. Estrada pointed out, I rode primarily quarter horses, but before I got too fat, I did ride thoroughbreds for a year in the states of Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania.
After moving west and being primarily a quarter horse rider, I did win thoroughbred races in the states of Texas, New Mexico, and California, but I was primarily a quarter horse rider. I rode for 32 years in probably 25 states. I was licensed from Florida to California and all points in between. Since I quit riding in 2008, I've worked as a licensed steward in Louisiana, Colorado, Arizona, and I did some fill-in stints in Arkansas and Texas.
And Mr. Williams, you've heard the testimony today, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And have you viewed the video before today?
I viewed it, before today. I watched it a few times on my cell phone. I've got a lot better views of it today since you put it on the computer.
Do you have any views or opinions as to whether there was interference that caused a better placing?
Well, everybody, and I'm sure it's the same for stewards, they have different theories and see things differently, but momentum to me is everything in a horse race. Having rode for so long, I know once a horse loses their momentum and has to start again, it costs you significant distance and pace in the race. When I watched this race, it appeared to me that like right here where you have it stopped right now, there's daylight between the 5 and the 9, and the 7's just starting to come on in. The 7 pushes the 9 all the way over to the 5, and as he does it, the rider of the 9 stops riding for 3 or 4 jumps, which in my opinion costs that horse momentum. Horses can feel you stop riding. When they do, they come right back to you. What I mean by coming back to you is they quit trying so hard to move forward, and they come back responding to your lack of effort in the saddle. Just the fact that he lost that momentum for 3 or 4 strides and then had to change course to move outside the 7, I felt, was enough to justify the disqualification, because I was told, I've never seen the photo finish, but I was told that the horse got beat just a nose or a matter of inches. You lose momentum for 3 or 4 jumps. That's significantly more ground than a nose or 3 or 4 inches.
I don't have any further questions for Mr. Williams at this time.
Do we have a cross?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Williams, from the videos that you've seen, can you tell how much clearance there was between the 7 and the 9 when the 7 came over?
It appeared to me from watching the pan shot that when the 9 horse changed positions and moved outside of the 7, when he lost his racing room, that they were close enough to clip heels.
What action would a jockey take if he was in danger of clipping heels? Wouldn't he stand up on the horse?
Well, yeah, well, absolutely. And I think I think when he stopped riding for those 3 or 4 jumps, he was allowing that horse time to get across in front of him. If he hadn't stopped riding and the horse hadn't came back to him, I think he probably would have went down.
And you see evidence of him stopping riding in this video?
Yes, sir. I saw the rider of the 9. I actually I thought I saw the horse's, the 9 horse's head move to the inside as the 7 was coming down on him. And just that action alone can tell you he's losing momentum.
Were you a steward in Arizona at any time?
Yes, sir. I was a chief steward there in 2022.
At Turf Paradise?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about this other camera angle that Mr. Hart talked about that is not available to us, that might show clearance between the 7 and the 9 when the 7 came over. Are you aware of that?
I'm not going to talk about that because I didn't see it, and I'm just basing my testimony on the 2 shots that I've seen.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
I don't have any further follow-up, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do I have any questions from my fellow commissioners?
None at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, just as a matter of clarification, you spoke extensively about your history of quote unquote riding. Tell us exactly what that means. And you rode thoroughbreds, you rode quarter horses. Give us a little.
Yeah, I probably, like I said, weight was an issue. When I was younger, I started off with thoroughbreds and I rode those in Detroit, Pennsylvania, Ohio. And then I had an opportunity to focus mainly on quarter horses, and I was quite successful riding in Ruidoso and Los Alamitos for years. And as I moved west, I would still ride some thoroughbreds for some people who knew of my prior thoroughbred experience, but I didn't ride that many. I probably rode 20 thoroughbred races at Los Alamitos and won maybe 5 of them. And in New Mexico, I probably rode, I just rode them in 6 races. I probably rode less than a dozen and won 2 or 3. By the time I got out west, I was a top quarter horse rider and was riding in the big races, so I didn't focus on thoroughbreds at all. But I did have a lot of experience in my younger years riding with good racetracks with good riders.
So you're stating you were a jockey, not an exercise rider.
Yes, ma'am. I rode for 32 years.
As a
and
jockey.
won probably, yeah, but, I'm old enough.
Wait. Just a minute.
For roughly 1,500 races.
Could you repeat that? It froze.
I said I'm old enough that I was pre-Equibase, so the records aren't all that great, but I won roughly 1,500 races.
Thank you, sir.
Mhm.
Any other questions?
Not from the state, Madam
Not
Chair.
from the,
Ms. Marciano, do you have an additional witness?
Madam Chair, the state does not have an additional witness, but we do not oppose Mr. Cantu, who I believe is on the audio if he wishes to present anything to the commission.
Mr. Buda, any thoughts on that?
if he has something to add that's relevant to the decision that needs to be made, he can certainly speak.
Mr. Cantu, would you like to present to this commission?
Madam Chair, no, I just want to thank everyone for allowing me to be here. I'm a new owner to this sport. I just want to say, my background, I don't have any racing background. It's my first year, but what I can add is from my own experiences is that we all love sports. We all have seen objections and replays get overturned. And all I can say is, sometimes the video doesn't show everything, and we have to trust, the people who are there, the authorities that are there, that are observing and making these calls. Of course, the Mr. Hart and the other stewards are in a better position. And so that's all I'm saying is that sometimes the video doesn't show, all the evidence. And sometimes we have to just, trust in those people with a better point of view. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Budak, do you have any questions of Mr. Cantu?
No, I don't.
Ms. Marciano, do you have any questions of Mr. Cantu?
No, Madam Chair.
Does either party have any additional evidence to present?
Not from the appellant, Madam Chair.
Do you rest your case?
Yes.
Ms. Marciano?
Madam Chair, yes, but I just want to also mention that the exhibits and the material has been moved into the record. Just want confirmation of that.
Thank you, ma'am. Do we want then to go into closing arguments? Is both parties ready to move forward?
Madam Chair, this is Budak, yes.
Yes, sir.
Madam Chair, Val Marciano, yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Budak.
Thank you. Madam Chair and Commissioners, this appeal process is an opportunity for the commission to make an independent evaluation of the evidence that's in front of us to determine whether or not this disqualification was warranted. As explained by Mr. Estrada, Mr. Hart, specifically, for there to be a disqualification, there needs to be interference, and that interference has to have caused, in this case, a loss of position or an opportunity to gain a better placing by number 9 Traveling Witch. I've watched the video, Estrada has watched the video, as have others, and it is our opinion, based upon the videos, which is the best evidence, as we believe, that Americano never checked, never stopped riding, that any crossover lugging in by Squeeze the Day was after he was clear of the other horses, and that Americano and Traveling Witch were never deprived of an opportunity to gain a better place, regardless of whether the 5 and the 7 and the 9 finished inches apart or lengths apart. It's very concerning to me that some of the decision that was made by the stewards was based upon a video that is not in evidence and that is apparently not available to us. And that video, according to Mr. Hart, would show that when Squeeze the Day number 7 crossed over, he impeded the other horse. We don't know that. It is quite possible from looking at the video, because Squeeze the Day was loaded, as Mr. Hart says, that he went by these other horses and was clear when he crossed over. So it's very difficult for us and the commission to rely on testimony that is not supported by an available video, or a video that might not be available, and that we're deprived of seeing. Under those circumstances, the appellate clearly believes that the disqualification of Squeeze the Day should be reversed, and the original order of finish should be reinstated. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Marciano, do you have closing argument?
Yes, Madam Chair. There's not just video. There is testimony based on actual visual viewing of the interference and the checking. That is supported by the video that has been displayed today. Any insinuation that a video's been hidden or anything else is unsupported. A party can subpoena documents from Turf Paradise or whoever, and that's not been undertaken by the appellant. The video that the state has been presented to this commission. So we not only have the video that is supported, Mr. Jeff Williams saw it for himself, so did Mr. Hart, so did the other 2 stewards, that checking, there was a loss of momentum as a result of lugging in by Squeeze the Day number 7. Not only that, we had testimony or communication from Mr. Americano to the stewards recognizing that there was interference. And we also have, and it's telling, when you listen to Mr. Hart's testimony, as he's watching the video, he's saying, whoa, whoa, whoa. He is seeing it. That's in real time. And that's when an inquiry was called. So after the fact, viewing this video, which in at least from the steward's view, does support the finding, the actual testimony and viewing in real time is clear here. And it supports the director's decision to uphold the steward's ruling, and there has to be given some appreciation for the stewards standing 5 stories above, bird's eye view, over a race and calling it as they see it in real time. And so the State Division of Racing submits there's sufficient evidence to support agreeing with the director's order.
Mr. Budoff, any argument for additional closing?
No, other than expressing my own opinion. No, I have nothing else to present.
Thank you. Both parties feel comfortable with their presentation of finding of facts and conclusions of law.
Madam Chair, are you asking the presentation today that we've had sufficient time and ability to present the cases?
Yes, ma'am.
From the state's perspective, yes.
From the appellant perspective, yes.
Thank you. Any further questions from my fellow commissioners?
None from me.
None at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, the commission is required to make a decision. The commission is required to make findings of fact and conclusions of law, and required to make an order. I can ask my fellow commissioners if they would like to adopt the findings of fact, or if they prefer to review this evidence and we can make a decision at a later date. If a decision is made, seconded and discussed, we would ensure that all the findings of fact have been moved and approved or rejected by parties. Do I have any motions, questions from my fellow commissioners?
Here, just one question based on what you just said. So our options are to either adopt the director's decision today or choose to defer our decision so we can make our own factual findings and conclusions of law?
Yes, ma'am. So we can actually rule now based on the evidence presented, or we can review the evidence and make a decision at a later meeting. It would be best to adopt the findings separately. So if any of my fellow commissioners have a motion for findings for the evidence now and want to make a ruling where you can do so, or we can wait until a follow-up meeting.
I wish to make a motion that we have a ruling at this time.
Do I have a second?
Commissioner Zucker, do you have a proposed ruling?
I do, but sequentially, we were asked if we are prepared to make a ruling at this time or defer our decision. At this time, I propose and make a motion that we have a ruling.
And I think that's a good motion, just to clarify for the record.
Perfect. Sorry, just one more clarification question. If we make a ruling today, can we finalize our findings of facts at a later date, essentially make our decision and then finish the findings of fact, or does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. To be honest, procedurally, let's get that information from our independent counsel.
Is your question whether you have to draft the findings of fact at this moment, or can you do so at a later date? Is that the question?
Agreed. So if we make our decision, can we follow it up with the final findings of fact based on our discussion?
I think if your ruling is clear enough today, your ruling on the findings of fact and conclusions of law and your order, that you can state that or make that ruling today, your staff can then draft the written version of that, and then you could have a special meeting or to either, approve it or disapprove it. You could also ask the parties to meet and confer on a form of judgment of sorts. So you have more than one choice here, but there's nothing that would stop you from making a ruling and then later sort of formalizing that ruling at a later date.
Okay, thank you so much. That's helpful. With that, I'll second Commissioner Zucker's motion.
Thank you very much. Anna?
Thank you. I have a motion by Commissioner Zucker and a second by Vice Chair Olson. I will call the roll. Madam French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker.
Yes.
With a total of 3 yeses, thank you. That motion passes.
Thank you very much. And just as an additional matter of clarification, any decision or opinion that is determined today by the commission would be reduced to a written opinion within 7 days of today's hearing. So with that, do I have any additional questions or motions from my fellow commissioners?
Not at this time.
Thank you. Commissioner Olson?
So we should probably engage now in discussion to make our ruling, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I guess I can start by discussing kind of where I'm at and I guess see if you two agree. I think we saw the video today and we heard from Mr. Hart in his narration of that video demonstrating hands-on reins and a shortened stride. Mr. Hart also testified to his in-person analysis of the event and his review of both the videos we saw today and videos that were not available to us today. And we heard from him that him and the other two stewards made a unanimous decision that those hands on the reins and the shortened stride were interference. We also heard that that was consistent with the testimony that the jockey gave to Mr. Hart. And we heard from Mr. Hart and Mr. Williams that the hands on the reins and the shortened stride made a difference in the competitive nature of the race. And finally, from Mr. Estrada, we heard that, sometimes stewards can differ and that's why there's, a 2/3 vote. Sometimes stewards will differ on the determination of whether there might be interference. So based on that summary of evidence, I'm leaning towards affirming the decision and wanted to open it up for discussion.
Thank you. Commissioner Zucker, do you have anything to add to that? And then I'll make my comments.
Yes. Consistent with Vice Chair Olson in what was just stated, there are a lot of variables here. We have video, we have stewards that were present. There was discussion, investigation with those that were involved, the jockeys and others, and it all leads in the same direction. So I also am leading towards confirming the director's decision.
Thank you. For both parties and my fellow commissioners, I want to state that I do take much more to heart any eyewitness testimony and any eyewitness that were actually at the race, including statements of the jockeys at the time of the race or shortly thereafter, that of the stewards. I do have limited weight to any of the testimony that I consider opinion from individuals that weren't at the race at the time. I do clearly see the nosing in and the shouldering out, or the nosing out and the shouldering in of number 7, which cause a minimum that I see just from the video of at least 3 shortened strides of number 9, which would have clearly made a difference to me in the photo finish of number 9 barely making 3rd placement on this particular race. So for that reason, I would entertain a motion to affirm the decision of the director. Any other comments or any additional information from either party before we make a decision?
Chair, I would second that motion with a potential amendment if you'd entertain it to just incorporate the factual findings that we've discussed here today as a commission and the exhibits that were admitted into evidence.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that. Anna, we have a motion to uphold the director's decision. We have a second with the incorporation of findings of fact and evidence. Do you want to take a roll for us?
Yes. Thank you. I have a motion by Madam Chair French Contreras and a second by Commissioner Olson. I will take the roll call. Madam Chair French Contreras,
Yes.
Vice Chair Olson,
Yes.
Commissioner Zucker.
Yes.
With a total of 3 yeses, that motion passes.
Thank you, Anna. Please be aware, anyone who feels aggrieved by our decision today can file an appeal to the Superior Court pursuant to ARS 12-901 to 12-9114. With no further presentation and a decision being made, I would adjourn this hearing, and the time on it is 11:58. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, everyone.
Everyone can please exit the video.
Thank you.
Or the Google Meet, sorry. Thank you.